Hi, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Federico, and this is Generation Popstars, the only podcast where we talk all about the iconic 2000 talent show Popstars and the amazing bands born from the show. Today, we're not going to talk about just one band, but I'm going to show you my favorite bands from the show, and I have created a tier list just for the occasion. Okay, so this is the tier list that I have created for this video. I have made five different levels. Okay, first level is Royals. These are the most iconic bands, in my opinion, the bands that I like the most. They were extremely successful, they created a legacy, they're still famous today, um, and they're my favorites. The second one is Underrated but Gold. These are all the bands that maybe they weren't very successful, but I like them anyway, and I think they should have been more successful. Then there's Guilty Pleasure, and I think this is a very interesting rank because I believe that many of us we gravitate towards certain groups that were created on the show, even though they weren't amazing, even though they're not great singers, but they still have some songs that we like and we tend to, listen to maybe secretly. So this is going to be the place where I'm going to rank all those bands that I don't really like. I don't dislike them either, but there is something, maybe one song, or maybe they're just a little bit, I don't know, maybe trashy or something, that it's very fun for me. Then there's Flopstars. These are the bands that I really don't like. I never listen to them. I'm not going to rank here the bands that were objectively Flopstars. So maybe they were great, they sold millions of records, but I just don't like them. And then there is Pass. I'm going to rank here all those bands that I don't really listen to, I don't really care about. Again, this is just my personal preference. You may disagree with me, and it's totally fine. We all have different tastes. Actually, I would love to know your favorite bands. You can use my tier list here, it's public. You can use it with your personal preferences, or just let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Who's your favorite band? Your favorite song from Popstars? And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Popstars all around the world. So let's start. First off, we have here Girls Aloud. Okay, um, Girls Aloud is Royals, definitely Royals. They are probably the most famous band ever created on the show. They came from the second edition of Popstars UK, Popstars Their Rivals. They won over the boy band, which was called One True Voice, I think. They had an incredible run of hits. They are still huge today. They were on tour, I think, 2 years ago, an amazing arena tour. So they're definitely Royals. Okay, now this is one of my personal favorites. This is Bandana, again, Royals. Amazing band. They were a phenomenon. I'm Italian, so I didn't live through the bandana mania period, but they have something special. Even though their music is not comparable to Girls Aloud, in my opinion, Bandana is still one of the biggest girl band ever created on the show. Oh, and I forgot to say, on this tier list, I'm just taking into account the girl bands, okay? So no boy bands, no mixed bands, it's just the girl bands. Bardot, hmm, Royals. I love them. I absolutely adore them. Um, I think they are great singers, even though they were, not as successful as Bandana. I still think their especially their second album is very solid, and one of my favorite songs, pop songs in general, is I Need Somebody. So definitely Royals for me. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is Eden's Crush, the band created from Popstars US. Famously, they selected Nicole Scherzinger. Um, but personally, I will just put them in pass. Not really my cup of tea. I never listened to the record properly. They just had one album out, and I do think they disbanded because the record label went bankrupt. But no, it's not really for me. Okay, Alsang, Royals. Straight to Royals. Great vocals, great material. I love each album they released. They were created on Popstars France, the first edition of the show. I still love them. They just reunited. It's so exciting for me to see the five girls back together, well, the five women back together. They were a true pop phenomenon in France. I still love their second album, Retiens-moi. I think they're amazing. If you're not familiar with them, please go and listen to their songs, watch their videos on YouTube. They are worth your attention. Hmm. Okay, this one hits very close to home because it's Lollipop. They are Italian. They are the girl band that was created on the show in my country. I used to be obsessed with them. Obsessed. I was I had high hopes that finally my country would have a proper international girl band. Things didn't go as planned. They weren't great singers, not very talented. They had a good run. They sold around 300,000 yes, 300,000 copies here in Italy, which is a huge amount of records for our country. Mm, I will have to put them in guilty pleasure. I still listen to their songs sometimes. It's a nostalgia thing, but it's I have a very bittersweet relationship with them because I was expecting so much more. But we're gonna dive way deeper into their history in a particular episode. No Angels. No Angels is my number one here, here before Girls Aloud. Amazing, best band ever, best girl band ever. Well, just I mean, right after the Spice Girls. No Angels is amazing. Great vocals, great songs, an incredible run of singles, records, tours. They're still together today. They're still touring. They're respected. Amazing, amazing. They're probably my favorite girl band ever after the Spice Girls. Um, in my mind, they're not even a pop stars group. They're just like pop royalties. Okay, what do we have next? Sugar Jones. They were formed on the first edition of PopStars Canada. Um, Objectively, they should go in Flopstars because they were not very successful. But actually, the first single was very good. The album had a really nice production, but I'm afraid I'm going to put them in pass. Okay, True Bliss. They're the blueprint for everything that came from Popstars. First band ever created on Popstars. It was Popstars New Zealand. I'm not really familiar with them or their songs in general. I know their first single. They are very good vocals. I believe they did reunite and still do like one-off things here and there. I would say they are underrated but gold. Excellence, again, underrated but gold. Popstar Sweden, five girls, just one record, full of bangers. Banger after banger after banger, amazing record. It didn't age well. I mean, it's very 2000, but I still enjoy it so much. It's so much fun. Not sure if they were like actually talented or not. I never listened to them singing live except when they performed at Melodifestivalen in Sweden. Wasn't great. Um, they were very short lived. Just one album, a few singles, and then they disbanded. Not sure why, because there is not much material actually in on the internet. But if you don't know their album, just go check it out. It's amazing. It's amazing. Lollipop, Spain, Popstars Spain. I think Spain is probably the only country that had uh, a group that was even worse than Lollipop. Pass. Actually, no, Flopstars. Sorry. If you have a different opinion, I'm open to it. If you want to enlighten me about Lollipop, fine. Drop a comment down below. I will read it and I will listen to the songs you suggest me. But for now, not really my cup of tea. Um, IQ. Hmm. Um, Underrated but gold. Two albums. I think it was Popstars Denmark. Um, I'm not really familiar with the second one, but I know the first one by heart. There is a song I really like, which is called uh, um, "The World Outside My Door." It's a very sweet song. I really like this record. I think they could have been way more successful. Okay, next up, what do we have here? I think this is Blue or Blue 3. I never know how to pronounce it. They were formed on Popstars Uganda, I believe. Not really familiar with them. I'm gonna pass. Okay, Gimel, Finland, Flopstars. I think that Finland had this idea of having pop stars with a twist of, you know, Finnish metal music, which is very popular in the country, and I personally like very much. But the final experiment was a bit weird, in my opinion. Not sure if they were successful or not. I'm not very familiar with them. I do remember their debut single. Mm, but for me, they're not interesting at all. So, Flopstars, if you do not agree, drop a comment down below. It's fine. We're here. We agree that we're going to disagree about this. Um, Not sure what this band here is. I think this is Tida Tila. I think. Mexico. Actually, the first single was very nice. Not very keen on them. Flopstars. Okay, this is Jamale. Underrated but gold. They were formed on Popstar South Africa, I believe. Very talented singers, very talented. They had a very good run of records. I think they're still together today, or they're united. Very famous. Not my genre of music personally, but if you don't know them and if you're into R&B music, I think you should like them, and they're too talented to be put in pass or flopsters. So yeah, underrated but gold. Kiruba. Kiruba Royals. I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't know if you know them. They were formed on Popstars Ecuador, I believe. I just love them. There's something special about them. Their music includes elements of folk music, which is so interesting. I mean, it's something you don't see all the time. They're not just like a generic pop group. They have something that's so them, and I think it makes them really stand out from all the rest of the bands. I really like them. They didn't have like a huge discography. I think they released just two records, but they're still together today. I think they did a farewell tour a few months ago. People are still going crazy about them. There's such nice people. I mm, talk to them. Well, not talk to them, but I had the opportunity to send them a few messages on Instagram. They're all following me. I really like them. Really like them. Okay, non-stop, absolutely underrated but gold. Again, I'm not super familiar with their discography. Not sure. I think they're still together today. Uh, but they had great voices, and I think their first single was written by Biff, who is famously the man that co-wrote many of the Spice Girls hit singles. Um, I would put them in underrated but gold because I need to know them better because I think they deserve it. Oh, it's not Tidetila. Tidetila is here. Who is this? I have no idea. Okay, this is very embarrassing. And I just realized that I left Rouge or Rougi out of the equation. Hmm.
A few moments later.
Okay, I think I sorted the whole thing out. Please, Brazil, don't come at me. I love Rougi, okay? I love them. I don't know why I forgot to put them in the list. It was my bad, but please forgive me. And I'm going to put Rougi in absolute royals. I will have to admit they're not my favorites. Okay, like they're well, I like them, and I love the newest songs. Their oldest ones are not really my cup of tea. I think they should have had a better like choice of songs, but they are great vocalists, and they were a phenomenon. Okay, Rougi was like the biggest girl band in Brazil and probably in South America. Still adored. There's a documentary coming out. The fans are crazy. And I really enjoy watching their live videos. I think I watched last night the stadium concert they had in 2003, I think. And it was amazing. I mean, it's they were so huge that you would not realize they were actually created on a talent show like Popstars. So, Royals, no doubt. The girl band that I wasn't sure about at first, and I didn't really recognize who this was, they are High Five, pop stars from Greece. I know they are great vocalists, and I know they were very famous, but sadly, I never found much material about them on internet. There's so many videos, but they are very old and everything is in Greek, so it's really hard for me to keep up with all the information. Mm, I think I will have to pass on them just for these reasons. Um, I saw them performing on videos, of course, and they were great, actually, high energy, great choreographies, and I do believe that their music was a little bit more R&B leaning than just pop music. I think there's potential there, but I'm just not familiar with them, so I'm gonna have to pass. Queensberry, sorry, Flopstars. They were formed on Popstars Germany on the I don't know 100th edition of Popstars Germany. I only like one song. Mm, I didn't like the concept. I'm sure they were talented and everything, but it's not just my cup of thing, my cup of tea. I think the song that I did like was I can't remember the title right now, but it's just one. Okay, Rough Fish. I believe it was Popstars Netherlands, Flopstars. Horrible. I'm sorry. The first single was terrible. The styling was terrible. Um, I'm not sure if they were successful or not. I'm sure they released a second single, but I wasn't really interested, so I never really, dived deeper into their career. I don't mean to sound disrespectful or anything. I'm hoping they had a great career, but to me, it's a no. I'm sorry. Same, Tidetila. Actually, the first single was cute, and I still listen to it sometimes. But still, do you know what? I will need to switch things around here. I will put Queensberry in guilty pleasure because I still listen to that particular single I can't even remember the title of. Uh, I don't know. It will come to me. And put T the Teal and Flopstars because they just had one single and maybe one album. The single was cute. I'm pretty sure they weren't successful at all. So, okay, last one for today. Maybe I left some groups out of it. I'm sorry if I did. Um, Tears, Switzerland. Listen, um, Switzerland had no angels, right? I mean, at least the German speaking part of Switzerland. No angels were huge in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. But of course, Switzerland decided to have their own version of the show, which is perfectly fine. They selected four girls and they went on to create Tears. What a name for a pop band! I think it's the initials of their names, not sure. They released one single and it was nice. It was called Music, Music. I remember watching them performing at the Dome in Germany because at the time I could watch German television. Um, uh, I can't pass because I know them and I did listen to Music often years ago when it first came out. But they're not really a guilty pleasure for me because I don't gravitate towards their song anymore. Never listened to their album. I don't know. Let me know if the album is any good because I really don't know. So I'm sorry. I will have to put them in flop stars. So this is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. The reason why I created Generation Pop Stars is because basically I have no one to talk about how much I liked the show, how much I like the bands that were created on the show. And I really hope that this is going to build a community of people that share the same passion for the show and for the groups that were created on it. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at POPSTARS all around the world. Please leave a comment down below with your favorite band, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.